Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today I'm going to show you how to move your Drupal site off of your local host and onto your server. My host that I'm using is Media Temple, and I have a dedicated virtual. However, as long as you have SSH access and you can create a database, then this tutorial will suit you fine. Okay, so you can follow along as much as you can, and it might be a little bit different in your host the way it looks, but the concepts are all going to be the same. So to move your site, we have to do two things. We have to move the database and we have to move the files, okay? So the first of which we'll want to accomplish by exporting the database from your, I'm using MAMP, so your phpMyAdmin, your local phpMyAdmin. And the second thing, we're going to want to bundle up our files. We're going to do it in a tar gzip, and we're going to throw it up onto our server where we're going to uncompress it, and then we have to just change a couple of files, okay? And we also have to import the database onto our server. I'll also be showing you how to create the database on your server as well, okay? So, first thing we want to do actually before we move anything is you want to clear the cache on your site. Sometimes with these Drupal sites, if they've built up a large cache, when you go to import the database might be a little too large and you might get some problems. So let's clear the cache first. Okay. Now we're going to go to your MAMP and then find the database that you're using. This one I'm using is d7_st, and I'm going to click export here at the top. And then I want to name this something. I'm going to say d7 st_July 18th. Just so I can keep track of which one it is. And I'm going to gzip this, just compress it, nice and good. Okay, we're going to click go. And it's just going to download this to your downloads folder, which I have off screen here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to compress our files. And so I'm going to do that using terminal. I'm using iterm here, and we're just going to change directory into the directory where our site is located. So mine's in sites. And it's just in there. If I do a list here, you could see a whole bunch of these tar files. But the folder I'm looking for is st. Okay, so now I'm going to want to compress this site. So one issue that you may or may not have is sometimes in Mac OS X, I don't really know what causes this. If you do, feel free to enlighten me. I've been trying to get this working a little bit better. I get these it looks like a dot underscore and then dot files. They're supposed to be like hidden files, but when I tar these up, sometimes these get included. However, I have a quick fix here. I don't know if this is the best solution for this, but when we tar here to compress our files, I'm just going to add an exclude, and we're going to exclude any file that looks like that. So to compress this, you want to do your tar command, which is going to be tar, T-A-R, space, and then hyphen, and we're going to do CZVF, and then we're going to name the file. So I'll call this st and then July 18th, and then you do .tgz, okay? And then you're going to do space, and this is where you pick the folder that you want. So I'm going to do st, which is the folder that I want to tar. And then now I'm going to add this exclude statement so that it excludes those files. I'm going to do hyphen hyphen and then exclude equals and then quotes period underscore, and then I'm going to star that. So that's a wildcard. It's basically saying any file with this that starts with this dot underscore, it's going to ignore, and then another quote. We're going to hit enter, and it's going to go through and compress all our files. Okay, so you can look at it go. So once this is done, using your favorite FTP application, you can go ahead and upload this to your server. I'll be showing that in just one second. Okay, cool. So it's done with that. So here's my FTP, and here's where our tar file is located. I'm just going to grab this and throw it right up on my server. Okay, so while this is uploading, which may take a second, you could actually probably drag and drop just your folder up here. Like I could just do this, but it would take forever. This compressed file is going to be a lot faster, and it's probably a lot more just secure for your files. I probably would always do the tar. So Now I'm going to go to my host and I'm going to log in. So give me 1 second, I'm going to log into my host and get to my server. Okay, so now I'm in my backend here. Of course, yours could look very different. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to websites and domains, and then I'm going to create a database. So the first thing we want to actually, let's create a subdomain, and let's create a new one. Let's add a new subdomain here. And I'm just going to call this test dot and then my URL, and then the document root will just be st, because this is what our folder was named before. So we want this domain to point to this folder name. I'm going to click OK. And it's going to create this subdomain. If you have, you're doing this on your primary domain, which this is not for me, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to click databases, and in here I'm going to add a new database. So I'm going to click add a new database, and we're going to give this database a name. So this database on our old server was d7_st. If we keep that the same, that's one less thing we have to worry about getting messed up. And we want to be a MySQL. Okay, we'll click OK. Oh, I'm sorry, it's giving me a clash because I already have this database in here, but I want to show you how to do this fresh. So I'll call this d7_st2, just so it's different. Okay, click OK. Now you need to add a new database user. I'm going to add a new database username, and this must be unique. So this is going to be admin st2, because that's easy to remember. I'm actually going to copy this so I don't forget it later. And the new password, I'm going to make it something easy I can remember, and it's just going to be test. That way, we'll test 1. Okay. Of course, I recommend using a secure password for this, but this is a totally insecure example, and I'm going to be deleting this database the moment that I finish this tutorial anyway. So cool. So now we have our database created, we have our user created. Now we need to upload that previous database into our database. I'm going to click web admin. So this is your PHP MyAdmin. If you've gotten here from a different way, that's fine as long as you're here and you have a database to go into. Let's go to databases, and you'll see our st2 database. I'm going to select that, and now that we're inside of that database, I'm going to click import. We're going to choose a file, and it's going to be our database that we exported. I'm going to open that, click go. It's going to import this database. Okay, now that our database has been imported, all we have to do is uncompress our files. So if you remember, we uploaded our files here. And here it is, st July 18th. I'm now going to SSH into my server, and I'm going to browse to those files. If you do not have SSH access, I suggest that you contact your host and find out how you can get SSH access, or follow some tutorial for your particular host. If you're familiar with SSH, then great, you could SSH into your server. And now I'm going to browse to where my files are. Var www hosts. Like I said, this could all be very different on your particular host. If you're using a Media Temple dedicated virtual, this is what you're going to be doing. And I'm going to cd into my main folder. Okay, if I see everything in here, here's our tar file, which is our st July 18th. And now if I want to decompress this, all I have to do is tar -xzvf, and then our name of our tar. Okay, and I hit go. It's going to uncompress this. Cool. Oh, it looks like it didn't exclude these files. Yeah, I'm still looking on a better switch for that. And I don't know if it happens to everybody. It seems like it, I've seen a little bit about it. Maybe, like I said, if you have any knowledge about why this is happening, or what you can do to fix it, let me know, because, I don't think it's happening to everybody. Okay, so let me refresh this. And here's our folder, st. So now we have that test subdomain that's going to be pointing to this folder, and we have a database. So let's go to this folder and see what happens. This is going to be test.scotttolinsky.com. Okay, we're going to get a Drupal error. This is a pretty common error. If you're seeing this, access denied for user root at localhost using password yes. This is because we have not told Drupal the database credentials or even what database to look at. So let's come in here and let's go to your favorite FTP app, and in your site we're going to go to let's see, sites, and then default, and then settings.php. I'm going to open this with my favorite text editor, Sublime Text 2. Okay, now that you're in your settings file, we have to scroll down here to this line right here. This is where your site is getting its database information. So if you remember, our database name was d7_st2. It's whatever you named it there. Our username was admin st2. And our password was not RTC as we had it before. However, it was test1. Okay, so let's save this. And let's go back to our browser and get the notification that it's uploaded. You can refresh this. And once you're done here refreshing, here is your site. So now I can log in here as normal. Let's go to /user, and here's my account. Enter my password, and I'm logged in. Let's have it save my password, and here's my site. Of course, this is not my live site. This is just this test one here. And if we go to configuration here, you might see one or more problems are detected with your Drupal installation. Okay, go to status report, and you're going to see that there's some things that need to be configured. So it's going to say that I have a Drupal core update. That's fine. I can update that in a little bit. It's also saying it can't find this directory files. It's not writable. So what you're going to have to do is come in and remake that file directory files. You're going to need to make this writable. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to change the permissions. I'm going to make this 777. I'm going to apply. I'm actually going to apply to enclosed because the folders that are in here just contain your image cache files and stuff like that. Nothing really confidential in here for me. If you have certain files you don't want people to get access to, you can configure yours differently. Okay. So let's click on this file settings page to fix that. Okay, if you see here, this is in red. This is your temporary directory files. What you can do is just delete this. When you save it, it's going to automatically configure that for you. So we'll save this. Now everything is green, nice and good. Let's go back to our configuration. Let's click the status report again and see what else is wrong. Okay, so it's now saying Drupal core status. Okay, that's fine. This is just normal. I can update core later. Flux slider must be, okay, so they're saying there's an incorrect version of flux slider. That's fine. I can fix that later too. Nothing really crucial here. And saying there's updates to some modules. Great. Well, that is successful. Let me clear this cache and come to our site. And you want to click around here to make sure everything's all good. But, you know, for the most part, that's it. Okay? So just remember, you got to take your files, take your database, and put them both up, and then you have to connect them, reconnect them. Okay? So here's the site working, and I have successfully transferred my site to a new location. And the process for this will be the same whether you're moving it off the server to local, local to server, pretty much anywhere you want to move it. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment in the video below. If you know how to get rid of that pesky, __ thing I'm having, then, leave a comment. That'd be super helpful. But yeah, so this is how you do it. Once again, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and thanks for watching. Bye.